pocket of something and be not. Has the concept of independent women killed the dynamic of the hierarchy due to independent women being breadwinners? No, I don't believe so. I don't believe the concept of it. I think some women killed it.
Yeah,
but I don't think the concept did. You know what I'm saying? The concept of independence in itself is not a bad concept per man or woman. And with the fluctuating economy that we live in 2025, most people have to be independent, even in a household that bears man and women. You know what I'm saying? Meaning they have to get their own funds. That's adulting. Some people want to get claps for that. I don't understand. You know what I'm saying? We talked about that before. You want to get an applause because you're being an adult. You know what I'm saying? I make my own stuff. You're supposed to, man. Woman. You're saying you're supposed to, right? The concept of independent women, I mean, that's a fair concept in this nowadays age. But that concept didn't kill the hierarchy, as you see from the video, right? She makes her own money. More than he does, by the way, right? Sure, but she's not killing the hierarchy. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, she's supporting it. She's willing to submit. That's the most powerful attribute. The willness to go ahead and stay in pocket of something and be not in control of it when you can at any moment shows your power and submission factor. If we get caught up in this terminology and we get caught up in these statuses, and that's what the people that invested in these terminology kills it. But these words ain't killing nothing. You know what I'm saying? These concepts ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's my take on it, though.
Very well said, my brother.
For sure.
Biz, you want to answer that? The question?
Nope. That boy Jay cooked on that. He did that left-handed man thing that he does, that left-handed Jedi thing. You know how left-handed people, they think they have a different process. I love it. Every right-handed person need a left-handed friend. I'm telling you right now.
Come check us out live with all new shows Sunday nights at 5:30 on YouTube. It's the Mailroom Show right here on the Mailroom Network.
Let's do his situation, man. Let's go.
Let's do it. Let's go.
Let's break it down. Okay, here's the situation, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, a woman friend zones her male friend for 7 years. Okay, that male friend goes and sleeps with her other friend, and the woman who friend zoned this man gets upset because he slept with her friend. What do y'all think about this situation? What you think, Busy?
If you have friend zoned a guy and you got a homegirl that rock with him, like she feeling him, you don't like him in that way. Why are you getting upset with whatever he does romantically with anyone else if you don't like him? You friend zoned him. Like that, like I'm pretty sure you and your homegirl you talked at some point. I mean, you friends on him for 7 years. And I'm trying to figure out, brother, how you even get friends on in the first place. We don't play those games. If you feeling this woman and she ain't feeling you like that, don't get friend. I mean, you could be a friend to her if you want to, but don't be trying to pursue her and she's putting you in a position where you will never get to her. Like she don't like you like that. Why are you? She's friend zoning you because you keep trying to get with her.
And subconsciously, maybe she was feeling him. You know, maybe it's something about him that just made her friend zone him. But honestly, it's something about her that she likes as well. Sometimes we're not proactive.
A lot of times,
you know what I mean. We're not proactive in how we approach our feelings and thoughts, and we need to be in some cases. It's cool to sit back and analyze. You know what I mean? I do that, you do that, Jay does that. I'm sure our viewers do that. But sometimes you gotta be more proactive with and really get to the foundation of why you feel a certain way.
Yeah, let's be honest here. Most of the time, women have this issue. Let's just keep it a buck. You let stuff slide too late. You do not set your standard in the beginning. And then along the way, you want things to change.
Come check us out live with all new shows Sunday nights at 5:30 on YouTube. It's the Mailroom Show right here on the Mailroom Network. Yeah. 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 I know that looks a little different, but your boy here with you. I'm starting off tonight, baby. And I am your boy, Jake. And I got rolling with me, though. I got rolling with me, man. It's my man. Bro! Yeah. And I can't forget my man, Tay B. Tay B's in the building.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Hold on, man. Just like this one, man. The beat ain't over yet, so we gotta let it go. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
What up? What up? What up to another episode, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, the MALEROOM show, right? How y'all fellas doing, man? I hope I tried, man. We switched it up real quick and impromptu.
That was different.
But you
know, I didn't know that was.
You know what I'm saying? I think we're good. Hopefully, you know what I'm saying.
For sure.
How y'all doing, man?
I did not know that was coming. That was dope, my boy.
Yes, sir. Doing good, man.
Jay got us.
No, we got a little technical difficulties going on. I still hear y'all. I hear y'all now. Check.
All right. Check.
Yeah, I think we're good. Yeah. We got. You know what I'm saying? We had a lot of ins and outs going on, but we still gonna keep the show rolling, right? We still good, ain't we?
You already know.
100%.
You already know.
All right. I just want to make sure. All right, Rollo, I'm gonna give it to you a little early, man. Go ahead. Let's top this off, man.
Oh.
Say yo, what up to everybody?
All right, man. Hey, shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to my brothers, man. Glad to see my brothers as always. Thank you for all of our everybody in the chat. Thank you for everybody that's we got a couple new subscribers over the last couple of weeks, so thank y'all for that. And we're gonna keep it moving, man. With that being said,
whoa, hold on. What a funny at though.
Oh,
we ain't gonna forget that. We can't forget that.
We can't forget that, man. Before the funny.
I mean, he killed me in. I'm like, all right, let's go.
Man, it's time for the funny, man. Let's go, dog. We gotta do it, man. I gotta interrupt for the one time, dog. Come on, dog.
I must have missed this meeting.
You know why? Do you know why I'm interrupting just for a second? Because I got the perfect song.
I don't know what
I got the perfect song for every guy who feel like that girl got away. That one chick that got away. I got the perfect song for you. I can't leave you alone. You got me dreaming. I can't leave you alone. You got me dreaming. I can't leave you alone.
Hey, bro.
He was definitely finished. He was sorry. I don't know what it was. He was
wild, bro.
Yeah, he was.
It was so chill.
Can't leave you alone. You got me feeling. Look, them finger waves were stuck right there too. They wasn't moving or nothing.
They were not moving.
I can't.
Hey, man.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
They were not moving.
I'm sorry.
Hey.
I'm sorry.
Shout out to the chat, man. Somebody say what up to the chat with me, man.
What up,
let's look them out, man.
What up?
Shout out to the
Mods in the
chat, man.
building.
Here we go. Miss Smiley said, "Good
Shout out
evening,
to the
everyone."
chat.
Mods in the
You know what I'm
building.
saying? That's what it is. What it is. You know what I'm saying? Still laughing at this boy, and this is crazy as hell. John Tillman's in the building right now. Just saying, "What up to everybody? What up? What up, though? What up, though?"
Yo, dope.
Chill till I see you,
That's what it
JB. I was
is.
feeling
So
that intro.
Yeah. She got. Thank you. I was nervous. You know what I'm saying? I was so nervous. My man was like, "Hey," he just shot the baton right there on the desk, and I was like, "What's this?" You know what I'm saying? He was like, "Do it," and I'm like, "I don't know, fuck it." I'm just gonna go ahead and part two. So I appreciate you, man. It was pretty dope to do. So I think we on time now. So we on time now. So I think we can toast now, right?
Let me make sure. Let me wait for a second. Make sure Busy good. We good, Busy? Because Busy about to say, wait.
All right,
stop.
All right, we're ready to go. Let's go. All right, good. Let's do it.
All right.
The producer said.
The producer said, "Wait."
You know what I'm saying?
He said. All right.
He said.
Are we fooling? Cool. I don't know what the hell. I don't know what's happening right now, ladies and gentlemen. But we're gonna keep going. Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. Again, thank you for everybody that's in the chat. Anybody that's gonna see this now, see this later. We love and appreciate y'all. Again, we had a couple new subscribers over the past week or so. So every little bit count, man. We love and appreciate y'all, man. We're gonna keep it moving. With that being said, we have come together once again for conversation, camaraderie, to discuss topics that are relevant to men and society today. I want to thank y'all for just rocking with us in season 4. I want to thank my brothers. I just want to thank everybody, and we're gonna do it like this, man. With that being said, as we on another round table that has turned into the Mailroom Show season number 4. Let us never forget, my brothers, the foundation that is our Trinity.
Salute, brethren. Sir.
Yes, sir. All right, we got a really good show today, y'all. So sit back, relax, man. Make sure y'all chime in the comments, and man, we're gonna keep it moving. All right, let's get into it, fellas. So we're gonna start off with a topic today. I got a question for y'all. Is it a bad thing to not have anything good to say about your ex? I think we got a video, man. We got a video, right?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's check it out.
One positive thing that your the father of your child contributed to you to make you a better person. So, for example, like I said, I was married.
My son.
Your son. That's it.
That's it.
There's nothing else good came from being with him. I'll give you an example. So when I told you I was married, she taught me how to drive a manual car. So now I know how to drive stick. So that opened the door to so many different cars I can drive. My last relationship, I was in just a regular girlfriend. She was a big advocate for politics. So I actually voted for the first time this past election. I was big on not believing in voting or anything, but that was one main thing for her that she wouldn't go for.
Oh, well, that's good to know you're flexible, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Like, we don't have a bad relationship or anything like that, but my son is absolutely the best
blessing.
thing.
It's the best thing, for sure. I'm sorry.
Okay, and why did you pop her balloon?
I feel like you didn't have really anything positive to say about the father of your son. And that's very, I don't know if it's shallow or not. You had a very good reason. And I just feel like if you're in any relationship with the person and you're willing to procreate with them and have a baby with them, at least there should be something good that they did to make you a better person at the end
I
of the day.
agree with you.
But it's not.
It should be.
Yeah. But
everybody
shit happens, what they say. Yeah, shit out. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
What do you think, fellas?
I'm glad he popped his balloon.
You said you're glad? Yeah. What's up with that, Busy? Why you happy about that?
I mean, I'm glad he did. First of all, it showed that he is a very conscientious person. That's number one. It shows that it shows that he has intention. He's intentional. And for you to be in a relationship with someone and to say nothing good about the person and to say that they did something for you, or they enhanced you in some type of way, or you learned something from them, or whatever the case may be. To say that you did not have anything at all good to say about that person, but you still had a child with that person, it kind of leaves me to wonder whether or not you wanted to just be a mom, or you're really trying to be in a relationship. You know, it's something. It doesn't matter. I mean, I've been married and divorced, so you know, I'm not going to. There are plenty of good things I can say about my ex-wife. Like you know what I'm saying? Like, to say it was just totally messed up is not. It wouldn't be. It would be disingenuous. And so I think that if you're in a relationship, whether you was married before, just regular relationship, it doesn't matter. Just to say that the only thing that good came out of this relationship is the fact that I have a child. It's just like, but you did not learn or gain anything from this person. So either you don't think anything is wrong with you, or you don't think you need to learn anything from this person. I mean, if you with somebody and you doing all the things as far as, you know, again, procreating, like my man talked about, but at the same time, you didn't have anything good to say about the person who you allowed yourself to be involved with to the point of leading into parenthood, then that says something more about you than the other person. You know what I'm saying? Because I can guarantee you, if you were to ask the other person, was there anything good about this particular young lady here? And I'm pretty sure that he would be like, well, yeah, it was. Yeah, we had some good times, you know. And you could expound on that, just because your heart is broken, and because you had a probably, I don't know if the breakup was bad or whatever the case may be, but just because you was in a situation like that, it ended bad, it doesn't mean that the entire relationship was bad. It doesn't even mean that person was a bad person. Things can end up that way. It's not always black and white in every situation. There is some complexity in relationships. You know, I think that's the reason why relationships are very, very tricky to try to observe or to assess, because there are going to be situations where two people might connect in a way that might be weird to you, but they have an understanding that you don't have with them, so you wouldn't get it. And in those kind of areas, you can't be on the outside looking in. This is one of the reasons why, me personally, this is one of the reasons why married couples who have issues, I do not get involved. I do not let them get me involved in the issue. Because there is a level of connection that you will never know. And this person's only telling you one side of the story, and that's it. And the side of the story that they're telling you, like you said before one of our shows, it's going to make them seem like they're justified in everything that they did, simply because they have the power and the control to create this narrative. You know what I'm saying? So I can't depend on that. If you've been in a relationship with somebody for 4 years, you've been in a 4-year relationship or whatever the case may be, you're telling me all the things that they did was bad. And it's like, not everything can't be. Yeah. Not everything. The situation itself may end up being messed up, but everything couldn't have been bad. It's just that it's so many different nuances. Some people get into relationships under false pretenses. Somebody was not being honest with the other person, and then that person thought they were, and then they get involved. That can happen. It's a thing where two people can come together mutually with a full understanding of what they're trying to do with each other. Right. And then it could end up to be a bad situation, and everybody else like, man, I thought they was gonna make it. They look so good together. Da, 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 da. Again, you don't know what's going on behind closed doors. But to say that you absolutely had no good experience at all with this person, at least once, the only thing you could tell me is that the best thing that came out of the situation is a child that it's like I find that to be a little bit of backwards thinking and a little bit disingenuous. So how have you improved? What lessons and things have you learned in the relationships that you've been in? Because it seems like you haven't learned anything and probably, quite frankly, don't want to. You know what I'm saying? And if that's the case, then let that be the case. But don't stand there in a disingenuous way and be like, "Oh, I didn't learn anything from that person. That person didn't really help me to get better." Like in no type of way.
Mm-hmm.
Like my man's pointed some stuff that's like, "Yo, I couldn't drive a stick. Now I could drive a stick, a manual vehicle. Open up doors to drive different types of vehicles, which can't open up the door for money." He voted for the first time. You know what I'm saying? Those type of things. Like that's something that's good that came out of it that was meaningful. So now I'm pretty sure he mentioned that to the point where I'm pretty sure he will probably vote again. He would probably become a contributor to society in the voting sector of the world, of the country. So that way he can actually put in his 2 cents. I mean, you're already paying taxes. You might as well vote, right? That's basically what. But that's what I'm saying. It's these type of relationships, because they end bad. The whole entire relationship is bad. The person was no good for you all of a sudden, but you had a child with them.
Yeah, that's some good points. In my opinion, to say is good or bad. I don't know. Like I'm on the fence about it because I understand everybody's experience is different. Now, if you invested all this time into someone, I don't think that there's not one good thing you can say about that person. But if you feel the good outweighs the bad, and then that is swaying your mindset to say, no, I don't have nothing good to say. Okay, that's on you. But be careful with that, because that's usually coming from an irrational place. You know what I mean? So in that instance, it is bad. If you're not thinking logically at the moment when somebody asks you that question, if you're still kind of stuck in a place that wasn't the best place, the best time in your relationship, and you just can't move past it. Some people get hurt, and it sets with them. They can't get past it. I understand that, but I don't think as adults any of us are going to invest a certain amount of time, a lengthy amount of time in somebody continuously, and not find any good. There has to be something. Because other than that, you just decided to waste your time for all of them for however long you was together. You know what I'm saying? And in that woman's instance, she had a child with the man, so that is very hard for me to believe she can't find nothing good at all. So I think it's definitely bad coming from an irrational position, an irrational state of mind. Everybody's experience is their own. Everybody can sit with whatever they want to sit with after a relationship ends. That's on you. I don't see any healing coming from that. I don't see any growth coming from that. But hey, to each his own. So I think if it's not coming from a place of logical thinking, if it's not coming from a place where you're really, obviously you're probably not, if you're not healed from it, you're gonna, and then I don't think that's not I think it's bad in that aspect for real. You know what I mean? What you think, Jay?
Yeah, I apologize, fellas.
All good, bro.
I think people just be in their feelings.
Yeah.
But it's not a validated thing. You know what I mean? I think the reason I say that is because you trying to look at the whole relationship as a whole, and for the fact that you wasn't satisfied, then you'll be like, oh well, they didn't do nothing good for me. But initially though, you had your target set on this person for your own set reasons, and they were good at that point, right?
They were good at that point. Yeah.
If they were good at that point, then how all of a sudden nothing was good that came out of it? You know what I'm saying? It's just that you wasn't satisfied and you got your feelings because of that. That's basically why I think people output this way. You know what I'm saying? Like, to the point that they're not even considering what that person could have taught them new or different, or a different outlook on some manifestation of their life, because entirely overall they were unsatisfied. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they sweep the whole thing underneath the rug. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just a bad relationship complete. Just like old girl. Like, old girl had a whole kid.
Yeah.
A whole child, right? From this guy, right?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, sometimes there could be wild events and you end up to be a parent. I get that stuff happens, right? But why was it in the beginning like that? And then why overall at the end was like that? You know what I'm saying? The only thing between those 2 points is these two people. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, what
like,
else?
I don't
What
get
else?
that. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really get it. I think people just be in their feelings. Like, nah, ain't nothing come out of my ass or whatever. But and then these are the type of people that spend years with that person, though.
Yes.
You be in this relationship
All that
for
time,
2+
bro.
years, right? And all of a sudden you just like, nah, there ain't nothing come out of that whatsoever.
Not one thing.
You know what I'm saying? I'm
It
saying
don't
it
add
that
up.
way because I did it. I did this, dog. I'm gonna be real talk about it. I always called my ex toxic as hell. But as I got older, and I still ride on that, but as I got older, I started to understand that 50% of this relationship was me.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Like, ha
50%. 50. I'm talking about like half of 100, like
ha!
half of 2 is I, right?
Mm-hmm.
Half of thy is I, and I is thine. Thine is mine. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. It was me. So I liked her for some type of reason whatsoever, even though the results didn't end up the way it was. I can be a mature person to be like, you know what, that person taught me to be a go-getter, not to settle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what my nan did. He just extracted some nice point out of it. And if you can't do that, that actually shows where your maturity lies. That's just me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can't extract nothing good. That's a life thing. You can't extract nothing good out of a bad thing. You can't extract the lesson learned.
Right.
The whole thing is bad. You know what I'm saying? At least the lesson learned will be a good thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I think.
I don't think. You know what I mean?
Yeah. After every relationship, man, in my opinion, bro, that's a lesson that you got to take. You know what I mean? That's a lesson that you gotta find. You know what I mean? You gotta see what you can get. You gotta see what you learn from that, man, because you know you're gonna keep moving, hopefully, and you're gonna get into another relationship. What can I take? I know damn well I took something from my last relationship. You know what I mean? I know damn well I did, and I appreciate every moment. You go back and you think about the struggle, and at the moment it was like, damn, this is crazy, this is messed up. But now I look back at it, I'm thankful, because you need to go through certain things in order to make yourself better and then to improve on the things that you didn't know you needed to improve on. Sometimes you need to get knocked up in the head a couple times, bro. You know, like sometimes you just gotta get smacked upside the head. You gotta fall flat on your face and be like, that's it. Thank you. You know what I mean? So that's, you know, so it gotta be, like Jay just said, that's a maturity thing. And yes, do some people mature slower than others? Absolutely. Do some people grasp the concept of knowledge? You know, like knowledge can come from any angle, not even if it's for somebody you don't want to hear nothing from, somebody you don't like being around. Knowledge is obtainable in every aspect. You know what I mean? So that's dope, Jay, because it really is maturity, bro. And I say it all the time, man. Some of this shit is simple, but some of this is supposed to be simple, but it's not. I mean, that's just real talk. That's a fact statement. Yeah. Y'all got something else to add to this, fellas?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, nah, not really. I just think that's just, and I think the closer you can do that, you know what I'm saying? And this is, like I said, this is deeper than rap. It's rooted in the way you pull out positivity and negativity, basically. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you want to call the situation negativity, like this is an overall psychological thing to be satisfied in unsatisfactory events. That's a thing to learn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To be satisfied. You know what I'm saying? Like some people don't have it all, but just to be comfortable with what you have and be satisfied with that. If I get more, if I get less, you just learn this when you get older, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this just is what it is. Like, you don't have the same stride of imaginative things no more. You just be like, hey, this is what it is. And some things you just got to be comfortable with. Like yourself. Shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't going to be everything you think you're going to be. You know what I'm saying? And then eventually you going to start looking different, feeling different. You know what I'm saying? You get older. Are you still going to be comfortable with yourself? Or are you going to keep starting? You going to keep trying to, you know what I'm saying, be your younger self still? Like, when do you get comfortable? You know what I'm saying? Like, when do you grow up? When do you know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. It's the thing with that. Like, you get out of a relationship, you're like, oh, that didn't happen. That person ain't nothing to me. But you spend all this time and effort with them, got evidence that you did, and just, you don't see nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? Even with yourself. That's messed up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, like, that's just, you got to do better in that understanding. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, better understanding. You know what I'm saying? Growth, man. Shout out to the first topic, man. I like that. Great conversation. That was great.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep it moving, man. Again, thank you for everybody that's in the chat, man. If you got a question about this, about today's show or any other show, you know, go ahead and go ahead and put it in the comments, and we'll get right to it. You feel me? All right, fellas. We about to get into something a little deep. Crashouts, fellas. Crashouts. What are they, and what are the real reasons behind them? For those, I mean, I'm sure that our viewers and my brothers, I know y'all have heard of this term. It's been recently used more. I want to say over maybe the last 4 or 5 years, just to describe mental, emotional breakdowns. It's been more related to teenagers. That's what I was getting from it. It's been more related to high school kids, middle school kids crashing out. But I showed my brothers a video that I saw of a woman going crazy in a restaurant, and just for the fact she was upset about her food. So it trickles down to the adults as well. So fellas, what do y'all think? What are crash outs to you, and is there any reason ever to have that type of breakdown?
I would like for you to go first, sir.
Yeah.
Let me put you on spotlight a little bit. What you think, bro?
Put me on spotlight a little
your
bit.
Definition of it, what you think? Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think there is a reason why people have these crash outs. Do I understand them? Always no. Like I said, a lot of these crash outs are a lot of it, with the recent term crash out being used, has been more related to the younger generation and kids. Y'all know I work in education. I've seen some of these firsthand, and just from that, me being in the school and knowing certain students, I know that there's things behind it. Family life, their own probably an emotional impairment or something like that. So you understand those reasons. But for people like I just mentioned, I showed you guys the video of the woman going into the restaurant, just tearing up the restaurant because she was upset about her food. Those things, I can't find no justifiable means for that, unless you have something like physically or actually mentally wrong with you. I'm never going to understand those type of crash outs. You know what I mean? And even for students, if we know that you're just this is just like your attitude in general, at any moment you're ready to just spaz out and have this crash out, and there's nothing that there's no justifiable reason for that, and we can't help you with it. I can't understand those. So to me, it's definitely something that I think has to do with the times, because like I said, this has been around. Like the term has been really more popular over the last 4 or 5 years. So You got to think about the pandemic. After the pandemic, there was a lot of depression. There was a lot of anxiety amongst people, a lot of depression, anxiety amongst families. And mental health started coming more to the forefront. It started to become more of a discussion. So you do have to factor that in as to, is there ever a reason? You could place it on some of those things. You could place it on the trauma of the experiences over these last few years. People are still trying to make their way back from the pandemic, believe it or not. People are still struggling from that. So I do think that if there is a certain space where you can find reasons why, but if people aren't open to acknowledging it, and if they just ready to go crazy at any moment just because they feel, oh, I'm pissed, like I'm this pissed off, I'm about to take all of this into the world and just go crazy because of this is where I am, this is where I'm at, this is what I'm feeling. I don't think that's a good enough reason.
I feel that though. Busy, you got something for that?
What do you think, Busy?
I'm still good. Y'all do your thing. I'm good.
What do you think, Jay?
All right. Okay. I say this lightly, and I don't mean to offend or nothing like that, but this is just something I believe. You know what I'm saying? I believe everybody got some type of damage to them in recent society. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody has an issue that they're working on. You know what I'm saying?
I believe that.
And you may point to the environment, like the world we live in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not a coincidence that people focused on mental health now. You know what I'm saying? And because the world is not, it used to be a seemingly like positive thing, like positive experience and an endeavoring experience. You know what I'm saying? For a long term, and the world has gotten to the point that it's sporadic, even on a daily basis. Right? Can't really guarantee much of anything. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so to have young adults and even older people, right? Even older adults, people my age, older, younger adults, whatever. More so the younger adults, and this is why you get this term, because you know what I'm saying. This term is used. I'm gonna back you what you say. The term is used for what I understand is that the term is used in younger generation. You know what I'm saying, like younger kids, school people that's probably still in grade school, a little bit older than that. You know what I'm saying, mostly. But you know what I'm saying. But the issue itself of a mental breakdown or a mental overload or emotional overload is what it consists of, has been a thing for a long time, to the point that now people trying to talk about mental health or whatnot, right? You know what I'm saying? Living life is almost in this world type of world we live in, right? Of uncertainty, is almost living like being in a cage and being tased and can't do nothing about it. That's what it's like to some people. You know what I'm saying? You got boundaries and you're getting afflicted with something and you can't do anything about it. You know what I'm saying? To the point that you just overreact. You know what I'm saying? When mediocre comes his way and get lopsided. So say for instance that this is that type of demeanor with people, and then they get to a place that they're trying to find peace and it gets ruptured immediately. So all of that comes back and lashes out, right? And that's how you get this crash out thing, right? It's from the damage of so much mental, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes physical people that collects, you know what I'm saying? Almost like fat in the body, almost, right? Like it just collects to the point and it just expunges itself at a moment when you just couldn't take no more. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's at an odd point. Like somebody, you know what I'm saying? Like it's already boiling over. It's just somebody just opened the lid like they shouldn't have. You know what I'm saying? And it could be something normal, like you said, like in a restaurant, you just got my food order wrong. You know what? I've been dealing with so much for the past 12 years. That's it. I'm about to, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to wild out on all y'all. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? And that's how that is. I think that people are in a mental state. You know what I'm saying? They're in a mental state of uncertainty, of pain and heartbreak And you know what I'm saying? Like it's everywhere you turn around to the point they're trying to escape it in any type of way. You know what I'm saying? To escape it in an abnormal way is the normalcy that people are looking for.
That's real.
It's kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? Like to escape it in an abnormal way, to smoke it off, to drink it off, to do a bad habit, to do something crazy. You know what I'm saying? And that's to get it off of you because you're so indebted to all these unforeseen circumstances, right?
Right.
So it's like that's what I think it comes from. It's the buildup. You know what I'm saying? It's
right.
and all this pain and rupture, and you don't have you don't have a outlet. And we talked about this before. We talked about this with men. You know what I'm saying? But now it's just people. They don't have a sincere outlet. You know what I'm saying? That's just why the therapy thing just went off the charts because nobody has an outlet. People need outlet. You had an original outlet, which used to be your family and your parents and stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You had original outlet, but since they're so broken, you know what I mean? You're coming from a place of brokenness because they were.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like these young kids don't have a choice on the matter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they just some people live with it and be like, you know what? I need to have extra help, and they understand that, or they might have the support to go that way. Some people just living in it and be like, I ain't never had nothing right all my life, so this is life for me. Crazy.
Right.
So
and it's
that.
It's crazy, bro. It's crazy, bro. When I think about it, I've definitely had a crash out before. You know what I mean? I've definitely had it. And to your point, I understood where mine came from. You know what I mean? I understood what was building up in myself. So that was a real good point, bro. Because when I'm sitting here thinking about it, I remember a time where I didn't tear nothing up. I didn't try to fight nobody. I wasn't cussing at people, but it was like. It was like somebody was like saying something and they asked me a question. I just like blew up. I didn't really have to, but it was like I wasn't in the mood. I wasn't in the space to hear that, or I expected you to say something stupid, so I just lashed out. So, and I think it's something that if you're not the type of person that has ever reacted like that, you're not going to understand. I still don't think going into a restaurant tearing up stuff or kids cussing their teachers out when their teachers trying to help them. I don't think that's a good enough. I don't think that's justified. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what reason you have for that, because that's just beyond the moral. That's beyond disrespect. But I do get how you mentioned about it building up, and it can come from anywhere. So that was a good point, bro. Mm-hmm. Busy, what you think?
I mean, where would they learn? Where would they learn it?
Yeah,
like, really think about it. Like, where would they learn that at? Where would they learn the borders? Yeah. Like, if you don't have nobody to teach the borders, if you don't have an example in life to learn the borders of right and wrong, where would you get it from? Like, you would, like, it's as the generations go back, like us and people before that. As it goes back, it's easier to understand where your borders at. You had your family and your parents. Most of us parents stayed together. Some of us didn't, but some of us, even if that didn't happen, we had a male role to look at or a male figure to do it. Like we had something to keep the borders. You know what I'm saying? We had a support system and something. You know what I mean? As time went on, the generations went down, the support system diminished. It got less and less. You know what I'm saying? It's really an anomaly to have a support system, really, if you really think about it. To have a 2-parent household, to have people that's behind you, to have, you know what I'm saying, to somebody that just touch you to straight and narrow. That's an anomaly. That's sad though, but it's an anomaly. It's non-existent. You know what I'm saying?
It's non-existent now.
So if you don't teach the borders, say if you got a little kid growing up and you got the mother, not even trying to knock on anybody, I'm just trying to make an example. Let's say if she's single, right?
Yeah.
And she going through hell, right? And she dealing with that. She takes that out on the child. The child comes up with that. You know what I'm saying? She's looking at cartoons and movies and talking about blissfulness and berries and fruits and stuff, but never see it. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
And you just continuously go through that, right? Growing up, like that's all she hears, yelling of her mother, the distinct, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then you go through and you got peer pressure going through time. You know what I mean? That's still a thing. Ain't like that disappeared. You know what I'm saying? Like that still happens. You got them grade school goals. You got all that stuff. Now, it's the safety in the grade school ecosystem. And I ain't even going no further than that. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to do that. Then you got to do, you know what I'm saying? You You got to deal with all that. Then you get out into the world. You barely made it out there. Then nobody even gives a damn about you when you get there. You gotta make sure you get yourself. And you see how that compiles. You know what I'm saying in a person, and for years on end, like you never had somebody be like, "Are you okay?" That's crazy.
Crazy work.
And somebody to do that, by the time you get it, you're like, "I'm fine," because you done packed this down so hard. You know what I'm saying? In yourself that you can't do. You know what I'm saying? That's why we talked about it with men, because we got a distinct thing we got to do. We got to be men. We can't talk about our feelings. So we got to pack all this emotional stuff and just do what we got to do. Now everybody feels like that. You know what I'm saying? Like times is, the economy is crazy. Everybody got to pack it in. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff they got to do. You know what I'm saying? And the younger generation is like, I don't know how the hell. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some people cry in the color, some people lash out, and that's how you get through Crashouts, bro. That's just me. Like I think that's how that happens, man. And it's crazy. It's sad to say, like, because if that support system ain't there, if you don't think that you see that you're going down a bad road and try to be like, this ain't life, it got to be something else to it, and try to find another avenue psychologically, like you would just do that. You would just end up to be that person, and it's a sad thing to say, and that's why it's a micro to macro thing. I love how Tay always say that. It starts with you, you know what I'm saying? But it's in the house thing, like you know what I'm saying. There's somebody that's not feeling well. Somebody around us is not feeling well. What we do? Do we just let it be? Because we're doing our thing. You know what I'm saying? Do you actually care about them to call them, be like, hey, how you doing? How's your mental, right? Can you just be an ear to hear, let them out on you? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, that might help somebody get through a day, a week, a month, a life. You know what I mean? Like, that's where we at. But nobody does it anymore. Everybody's still trying to crab bucket this so-called life. And nobody cares. So everybody's just trying to do their own thing. By the time somebody looks up, and somebody else, it went too far. Somebody went off the deep end. Somebody crashed out of the restaurant. Somebody took somebody's life. Somebody did, you know what I mean? It's too late now.
Yeah.
So it's sad, man.
Yeah, and I think mental health. I think it still needs to be taught. I think it needs to be. I still think it needs to be extremely up in the forefront. I think it needs to be discussed more. I like what you said about referencing Tay, how it starts with self, but it's still dangerous because people just don't realize that it is sometimes it's just you. it's just you. You know what I mean? Whatever is built up is fine, but that don't give you no right to go out and tear something up. That don't give you no right to go out and shoot somebody and kill somebody. So that's the only thing. That's the only thing that's shaky with me about it, because these crash outs are causing very tragic things to happen. And as a society, we got to figure that out. What you feel, Busy?
Yeah, you guys said, excellent perspectives on it. There was another term before crash out called emotional breakdown, where you had or mental breakdown, where you had a episode of losing it for a moment, and I've had an episode like that before, a couple of times actually in my life, and things that I've been through, and being alone in those moments, where you don't even know where you kind of are, type of moments.
Yeah, like blackout.
So yeah, and I appreciate what Jay said about the fact that you're so compiled with things that even if you in the kitchen and you drop a napkin by mistake, you'd be like, what next? All right. Like even with a napkin,
right.
You done had a bad, you done had a flat tire, then the flat tire turned into, when by the time you got it home, the rim bent. Now you gotta pay for that too. Then you go to the mail, it's like, dang, you about to get a notice like, if you don't pay this amount in 15 days, we're gonna have to come out and get your stuff or do whatever. You're like, wow. And then God forbid if you got kids, you're like, man, my kids acting up in school, I gotta go up there and handle that, but my car tire is messed up and the rim is bent, I gotta get an Uber. to go take care of, you know what I mean? Then you come back home and you cutting lettuce and all that kind of stuff, and you cutting tomatoes, you trying to make a salad, and you got a napkin, and next thing you know, you drop the napkin. Then all of a sudden your kid do something crazy. You like, you know what? Just sit your ass down.
That's real. That's real.
Right.
You just
That's real.
you just lose it. All right. And it's all because of the compilation of back-to-back championships that you've had throughout the day. You like this dude always, you Bill Russell out here. You got 8 straight just F-ups, right? And it's like, what next? And so I think that the crash out piece has been a laughing stock for some people.
Mm-hmm.
Some people laugh at crash outs, and I'm gonna just give a brief example. Like the latest crash out that we could see in media at this point is between Stephen A. Smith and LeBron James.
Right.
But Stephen A. Smith is now going over and beyond to reprise the things he said. So much so to the point where he got his facts all tangled up because he claimed LeBron James wasn't at the Kobe Bryant Memorial, and he was.
Yeah.
He forgot that LeBron James didn't go to D Wade's retirement because his son just had cardiac arrest. So he's reacting without thinking. Now, this is a person who claims to always get their facts straight.
Yeah.
You see, so the proclamation of yourself versus the circumstance that you're in will determine whether or not if you're thinking correctly.
Yeah.
Because if you normally stand by this principle and standard of I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna get my facts straight, but then you start forgetting and you're so emotionally involved in this whole thing that you forget facts, you forget what you stand for, you forget your principles. Some people are laughing at that. This is how insensitive we have become to even a term like crash out. Well, we become insensitive to the fact. So then when someone crashes out, like Tyrese, when it came to his child, he supposedly had a crash out, but to me, it wasn't a crash out. It was a father pleading like, yo, he's venting. What else do you want? You divorced me out of nowhere. It was nothing wrong. Then you got me for all the money. You want all this buku money per month for child support, and you don't want me to see my own daughter. What else do you want to do to me? What else do you want from me? So this man has an emotional breakdown, and then people laughing at him. They made him a meme.
Yeah.
What do you want from me? And then it's a meme about it. And it's like we have become even insensitive to the crash out. So it goes back to what Jay said.
Yeah, right,
Man, you had a support system, you had your family, you had this. There is none. The only support system is God. Straight up. Right. And if God gave you some friends, some root friends, some friends that's been there for a long period of time in your life, some consistent friends, some true ones, then God has blessed you. Other than that, you out here. And so it goes back to what Jay said in the end. I'm gonna just piggyback and I'm gonna leave it. At work, when I do certain tickets in IT, we have incident tickets, and one of the resolution information options is where you could solve something permanently or solve it by workaround and all that kind of stuff. But there's one particular category. Yeah. There's one particular category that's interesting. It's called advice and guidance, where I didn't solve anything, I didn't fix anything, but I showed you how to do it yourself.
How to do it.
Now I can resolve the ticket because what I have conveyed into you worked. And this is the problem. We don't have no more advice and guidance. We have mean-spirited, successful folk. Then we got low-budget thinking folk who try to give advice and guidance from a perspective that's broken. You didn't go through a process. You didn't go through what it takes to get to where you at. You heard something on the internet, then you claimed it to be your philosophy. Now you want to share this bullarchy with everybody. And then you tell people that's the way to do it, all because you was able to get some money. You was able to get some type of prestige, and so that's success. But you ain't got no peace in your heart. You got the money, but you don't have no peace in your mind. So you calling yourself successful. I think you're misplacing the word success with accomplished. You're an accomplished individual, but are you successful? Because you can't be successful in life without love. And that's what we don't have in this world. We don't have any love. The love is gone. Yeah. It used to be the thrill is gone back in the 70s. Now the love is gone. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. We don't have it anymore. So when Jay have an emotional breakdown and he going through something and he in tears, and you normally don't see him in tears, all of a sudden you're like, man, he crashing out. Look at him, he crashing out. Man, you got to man up. You got to be an alpha. No. See, he's a human being with a spirit, soul, and body that needs some purging. That's what your tears is for, to purge you, to rinse you down, to squeeze you out. And if you're going through something in your life, whether it's relationship-based or personal, if you are not able to get enough juice from the squeeze, you ain't been through enough yet. Because if you've been through something and you learned a lesson, that means the juice was worth the squeeze. You ain't going to do that no more. You're going to make it your priority not to relive and redo what happened to you to cause you to have emotional breakdown, mental breakdown, and things of that nature. You're going to hold on to that joy. You're going to hold on to that love. You're going to hold on to whatever it is that's going to make you happy within yourself. You can't look at nobody else to make you happy. It got to come from you. You have to be satisfied, and that comes from the work you do on yourself. And you do that work in love. And you gotta love yourself. UGLY. You got to love yourself. Ugly. Get ugly with it. You got to love yourself. Get ugly with it. Get ugly with it.
I like that.
You gotta love yourself.
Get in there.
You know what I'm saying? And and one of those reasons, man, that for me, that love is lacking, bro. That love is so lacking, man.
Yeah.
And now we're mocking the Crashouts. It went from mentioning to what they were to now mocking them to now memeing them.
It's crazy.
And it's like everything is just a joke, you know? And so everything is Dave and Buster's, Disney, and Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And you see that movie crashed out. Nobody went to go see that for real. You know what I'm saying? Because people are tired. Yeah. People are tired of you selling them some shoulda, coulda, wouldas, when you really need to be selling them some advice and guidance in the spirit of love. And that's just my take on it.
That's real, Tay. And it's so funny. As much as the society wants to make light of other people's hurt, we have become awfully sensitive too. It don't
exactly
happen. The opportunity when we get an opportunity to make fun of somebody else's hurt or somebody else's pain, because we think that it's you, it's okay. Everybody laughed at Tyrese because they think Tyrese, he rich, he this, he that. You know what I mean? He can handle this. He tripping, dog. But as soon as you hear a comedian say something personal about a person's way of living or something like that, or as soon as somebody make a joke you don't like, or as soon as you see something on TV that offends you, you're ready to go in, but then you'll laugh at another person's heart. That's crazy. We got to do
you know, it's so funny you said something, dog. You said, have you ever met a person, male or female? You ever met a person, man, they are so mean.
Yes.
Mean, man. They got a mean mug. They got a mean response. Their tone is mean. And haven't you noticed those be the most sensitive people you ever met in your life, dude?
Yes.
They be the most sensitive people. Don't let them make the potato salad. Oh my God. And if the potato salad ain't good, You be like, and somebody say, what you mean? And then it's over. It's Jerry, right there to cook out. The meanest person in the room has the most sensitivity, and they always got something to say. And ladies and gentlemen, if you all that's listening, just think about this. Think about the most talkative person you've ever met. And think about how sensitive they are when you tell them about them. They always have a reason to deflect their own sensitivity by trying to throw you under the bus all over again. They mean-spirited. They don't have nothing else good. Yeah. They just mean. They alone. They don't understand the difference between being alone and lonely. They don't understand the difference between happiness and pleasure. They don't understand the difference between good and evil, but they love to get into your business. But then when you say something about them, then you start seeing a crash out from them. Yeah. Be careful with those people, man. And even if you get into a relationship with somebody, ladies and gents, you get into a relationship with somebody and you everything they say is rude, brutish, and brash, and then it's mean. And then if you say something to them about it, they will try to justify it. As soon as that person tries to justify how mean they are, run for the hills. Mm-hmm. Jump off the building like Batman, get that utility belt and swing your ass to the next stop. Because I'm telling you, that person is going to throw you under the bus. As soon as they get the opportunity, they're going to do it. The best thing for you to do is to be patient, to discover your happiness and your joy. Be patient. Because I'm telling you, it will happen. It is these crash outs and these emotional breakdowns that people are having now. A lot of it is self-inflicted. A lot of it is build up, and a lot of it is the love is gone, man. And we don't have that love, that community love, man. I remember growing up, man, in Detroit on Princeton Avenue over there by Puritan and Midland area, man, down the street from Highland Park. We used to have block clubs. We had the swim mobile come through the hood. They used to block it all. We had all the people from the neighborhood come out, the fire hydrant, the fire department. They open up the fire hydrant, man. You get wet outside, you know what I'm saying? And then they blocked us. They block it off like everybody was on TDM. Everybody was on. You know, all the kids played with each other. We fought, and then we was cool after that. After we bust each other in the lip, all right, man. My mom got some tuna that she made. You want some tuna? Like, we was cool. You know what I'm saying? We was cool, man. Yeah. We was growing up, it was cool, but it was community. So that's another reason why you see crash out. Community. Where is the unity? Where's the unity, bro? We all thinking differently and incorrectly. All right,
differently and incorrectly.
I would stop.
Community. Where's the unity? I like that one.
Where's the unity? We thinking differently and incorrectly.
Where's the unity? We did it different and incorrectly.
Very well said, brother. That boy over there with the church got the tie sweat. Oh boy with the church. Shout out to that boy.
Unity. I believe that somebody in here needs some community work. Mm-hmm. Y'all don't want to hear me tonight, but I got something to say.
Can I get the organ? Can I get an organ? Can I get an organ?
Y'all don't hear me.
No. Can I get an organ? Thank you, Jake. Can I get an organ? Hey, shout out to my brothers, man. That was dope. Good conversation. Good discussion.
Yeah. Real talk, man. Real talk.
All right, man. Hey, again, y'all. Thank y'all so much for tapping. Hey. Chill. Don't act like you ain't been here. Chill. Don't act like you ain't been here before. Come on.
She know what's up.
But shout out to the chat again.
Y'all know what this is.
Anybody that's watching live, if you got a question about today's show that you wanna tap in, you want to add to the discussion, go ahead and put your comments in, and we will get with y'all in the comments. Y'all know what it is, man. All right, I told y'all, man, it's been a dope show so far, man. We're gonna get into our last topic for today, fellas. This kind of correlates with what we just talked about, actually. So I think it's a really good segue to cap the show off with, man. So is your behavior hereditary in any way, fellas? Is behavior hereditary in any way? Busy, start us off, man. You on fire, bro.
Yeah.
All right. I believe so. Certain types of behavior, yes. You have hereditary behavior, and attributes. One obvious one is like your eye color, your hair color, things of that nature. That's a hereditary thing, right? You got hair like you got your mama hair, you got your daddy eyes, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's hereditary traits, but then you have behavior that's like demeanor behavior, you know what I'm saying? The way you walk and all those type of things, how you sound, the way you talk, and things of that nature. Again, hereditary situations. But one of the things to me that can be hereditary but can evolve is your cognitive behavior. The way you think can evolve. Your thought process on how you conduct yourself is not entirely hereditary. I'll take my household, for instance. Grew up moms, it was me and my sister. That's it. The way I think and the way my sister thinks, two polar opposite ways of thinking. You can't even get no more polar than this. You can't even get polar express. You can't go North Polar. Listen, we are different in thought. And that your cognitive behaviors are learned. A person who loves to play music, but you don't see a lot of musicians in your family. Okay, that's cognitive. That's things you learn. That's a skill you learn that. That's a behavioral part. Learning is a behavioral thing. And so when it comes to the cognitive behavior of a person, to me, it is not entirely hereditary because it can evolve. The way I used to think when I was 15 changed when I turned 22. And 29, it changed from when I was 22 to 29. When I turned 32, my behavior changed. It evolved. 35, 38, I started seeing differences in myself based upon the cognitive progression that I was making. That's not hereditary because you can take that and look at your family and you be like, y'all are in the same position, same mindset, and have not evolved. So hereditary and indoctrination is different for me. It's like some things are hereditary, yes. Behaviors, yes. Man, you had just like your moms, man. When it comes to, they're like, yeah, that's true. I got that. You get it honest. But that cognitive, this part, that's all on you. That right here is all this right here is on you. You can't blame mom and them and daddy and them for this right here.
Yeah.
Because there are so many families that have both parents and a child does something that their parents is like, we never taught our child this. But they're 25. They learned it from somewhere. Or maybe, just maybe, they had this own thought themselves and they never revealed it to you. They may have revealed this type of behavior with a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a wife or a husband or a partner. You know what I'm saying? So you can't say, Dad, Mom, this ain't your fault. But that's my baby. Your baby is grown. Their grown heifer here decided to do something that she wanted to do herself. You didn't teach. You didn't sit her down and teach her. Be like, this how you do it. See, that's indoctrination. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your cognitive behavior that you decided to do things on your own. That right there is not hereditary. That's you, ma'am, sir. That's you. That is you. That's your way of thinking. So yeah, you can walk like dad and sound like dad. You got a voice like him. You have behavior like him. You calm, cool, and collected like dad. You might get emotional like dad. You might get this like that. But the way you think, determines your behavior as well. And that part of your behavioral makeup is on you. I'm gonna start with that.
Very well said, my boy. Jay, go ahead, man.
Look out, David Copperfield.
You did the David Copperfield on.
No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Come on, man.
No.
Say it loud.
You're trying to go behind that, man, because he was absolutely correct. I don't know what you're supposed to do about the truth. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you're supposed to do with the truth. That's 100%. What am I supposed to do with 100? You know what I'm saying? 100. What the hell am I supposed to do?
100. No.
I can't add 1% to 100. He was 100.
1% to wrong. Ain't no wrong going 101. Like,
It ain't no such thing as he keeping 100 and I'm gonna keep it 100 too. No, he kept it 100. I ain't got shit to say. No. All I can do is really echo that, though. To be honest, like I can't really say he really hit it on the head. I was gonna talk that same way. You know what I'm saying? Genetics versus the mind. That's the way I was gonna go, and he did similar way. Like genetics is just your attributes, man. It's just way you're built via DNA. Like that's the way you're built. You know what I'm saying? Like. You know what I'm saying? You're short, like in my case. You know what I'm saying? My dad was short, so I'm short. Like, my dad was a profound. He had a distinct, profound voice in the audience. Like I got that too. People say I do. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you get your aesthetic from the attributes of who you come from. Like it is what it is. But mine is not universal. Mine is subject to change. Right? Ooh. So your mind can change. You can change your mind.
Yes, you can.
Your thoughts. You can change that. Like you can change your thoughts. You can evolve from one aspect of a learned behavior to another aspect of a learned behavior. You can evolve that. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying? You don't play with toy cars anymore. You buy your own damn car when you get an adult. Mm-hmm. Women don't play with dolls at 38. They have their own kids, right? That's an evolution of a behavior, right? If you seen a grown woman playing with dolls, you would think something is off, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the comparison. Like you know what I mean? Like that's you evolve. You evolve with age and dispensation that you're in. Like you do that. Mine is subject to change. So that's because your thoughts are subject to change. You can change that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I always heard from two things. One, I'm just going personal testimony, right? I have been getting into a lot of theory conversations and disputes. With my own mother. Now, I love my mom. But some of the things that you say, no, I ain't really rolling with. And that's because there is one truth of the matter, right? And if you put the learned behavior in me to seek the truth and live by it. If you're not on it, even if you're my mother, you taught me to stand on the truth. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Now I'm supposed to negate what I actually feel as right just because my mother don't go along with it? See what I'm saying? Like I don't. Mm-hmm. So we start to have these quarrels. Like no, that's not how that goes. You know what I'm saying? Or that's not how I was taught that certain way. You know what I'm saying? Like, that ain't what you told me. You know what I'm saying? We've been going in. It's been interesting how I'm not getting into it. They'll tell me I'm like debating or arguing with my mom. I'm not doing that. It's just that it's getting to a point that I have become an adult and seeing things other than your perspective. I'm starting to see it for what it is. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, the way she cooked chicken ain't the way I cook chicken.
No.
Now, you might not have looked in the book and added a certain type of spices or whatnot. Now, I cook in certain different ways. Still turn out good. Mm-hmm. But is my thing wrong because you do it differently? No.
Come on now.
No, right? I'm starting to evolve. You know what I'm saying? I love you, mama, but hey, let's start on the embarkment of what its reality is. Not how you feel, not how you think it should go because I'm your son. You see what I'm saying? It's learned behavior, right? You tend to evolve. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to get there. I'm starting to be that type of person. I also learned, my dad used to say this all this time. You know what I'm saying? Bless him. I don't have him anymore. But he used to always tell me this. He told me that don't be me, be better. Now, how am I supposed to do that? How am I supposed to do that if I have his genetics? That means something can be changed from what he did to what I could do. I don't have to be him. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to be him. I could be my own. You know what I'm saying? Now, if I choose to do the same thing he's doing, and if I'm in an environment that says different, but I choose to do the same, that's on me. That ain't on my genetics.
Come on, son.
You know what I'm saying? That's on me. That's not on my genetics. That's not how that works. You know what I'm saying? And you have the especially if you have the place in front of you by friends or information. If you have it in front of you that you can change, then you don't have to be the same. So I don't believe, like, if your mother didn't trust men, that don't mean you don't have to. Right.
Come on, Rev.
You can do that differently. You don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? If let me say this. If behavior was hereditary, my parents were in poverty. That means genetically I should do the same thing.
Yes.
That's not true.
That's not true, though.
I can learn from their mistakes and change that. Which I have siblings that did that. Therefore, they went through this whole thing. I have a sibling that did that. They went through the same poverty infrastructure that we had, and was like, I'm changing that all the way around because I don't even like the way that lived. I'm gonna give back to my parents the way they gave to me as much. They didn't have much to try to give me, so I'm gonna give back. So one of my siblings become very successful and did that, and immediately did that, which is great. She changed it.
Come on, now.
You know what I'm saying? She evolved the idea. You know what I'm saying? So you can do that with everything. Hereditary, behavior hereditary? No. Cognitive is what he described it as, Tay described it as. I agree with that. Like, it's not your genetic makeup. It's your mind, thought, and action that you can change. You don't have to be the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you see, and I think this comes about because you see, like, the class of people, like, you know, the broken home, that you do a broken home, or the economic level of a black couple, then we got to do the same thing. That is not true. I have a cousin. I'm gonna say this now, Ian. I have a cousin that's still writing on racism to this day. I'm just gonna say this real quick. I'm not gonna go deep into it. He's still writing on racism to this day. Like, y'all know what I mean, right? And he's like, well, my skin versus the other skin, they've been holding us down for forever. So I don't have the same opportunity. That is bull. That is bull, bro. You got the same type of 9-digit security number I do.
Right.
You are capable underneath this government to do whatever you choose to do. You are. There's all avenues to do this. Ain't nobody told you not to go to school. Ain't nobody told you not to pick up a trade. Ain't nobody told you not to do this. It's freely an open door, have the money scenario, or get you a grant like everybody else did. It's clearly open to you. But you want to hold it. You want to leverage yourself against something else that's not even there and blame that on your poverty level. Blame that on your inconsistency of being successful in life and not you. It's not hereditary. It's not racial. It's not gentrification that did it. It's just you. When are you going to blame yourself? That's the problem with society. When is it your fault? When is it just you? It's never just you. It's just it's everybody else. It's my mama. It should have raised me better. It's the emotional stuff I went through, and I can't deal with it. I blame that. It's politics. It's the people in Washington.
Yeah,
when is it you? Right. When is it you? When is it just your idea of the thing?
You know what's so funny?
You know what I'm saying? Man. Go ahead, bro.
You bringing that up is important. It's so cool. It's so dope because, again, we're talking about the cognitive behavior, and the cognitive thinking comes from decision. Decision making comes from the prefrontal cortex of your mind. I talked about this on Coffee Conversation, by the way. We will be back at some point.
I was there.
And I talked about how the happiness versus pleasure, but the prefrontal cortex and how it operates. One of the things inside of the prefrontal cortex is decision making. Another component is interest. So you can have all the opportunity in the world, but what interests you? And your interests can also change with the way you think. This is the reason why ladies go through bad relationships. I'm sorry, you gotta say it. Y'all go through bad relationships and gave this Negro everything, but then the next Negro got to give you all the stuff the other Negro didn't give you because you started changing your way of thinking and your interest changed. Well, if you can be cognitive progressed by a bad experience like that, how come you can't just do that for yourself by your damn self? Why is it that I gotta make $100,000 a year because you gave Pookie a chance and he made $35,000 a year? you gotta help me make that make sense. Like I don't know how that doesn't compute. You see what I'm saying? That don't compute. It's like dog. At some point, the parts that you can't change, and I'm gonna go ahead and give it to Trustee Rollo in a minute because Reverend Beasley was preaching. Yeah. At some point, you have to change. Your way. Did you see that? At some point, man. Hey, man. Reverend Beasley was down there preaching, dog. I'm sorry, you know what I'm saying? And Rollo was looking at him like a trustee, like Trustee Deacon Rollo. I had to switch the name up real quick, bro. He was very attentive, Jay. He was very attentive to me. I didn't
even see that. That's funny,
bro. That's why I had to cut my camera off for a second, dog.
Man, your ceremonial monologue and pontification was going crazy, bro. You feel what I'm saying? So he was attentive into your massage. So I had to make sure the brother changed his name.
Massage.
He was attentive to your massage, bro. That's what I'm saying.
What is happening?
And all I'm saying is that at some point you have to realize that you are responsible for your own cognitive progress. And if you need help along the way, if you need some advice and guidance, don't be so prideful to not ask for help when you know you need help in a certain area. Because you know that ain't hereditary. Slashing somebody's tires because they lied to you on text is not hereditary. That's your crazy ass. That is your crazy ass doing that. Your mama didn't put you up to that. That's not hereditary. You throwing a brick inside a Negro window because you're trying to get him for child support and the court said no. That's not hereditary. That's your crazy ass. Go ahead, Trustee. Go ahead, Trustee. You know what I'm saying? Jake Paul, Chris Paul, Logan Paul. Lakers and 5.
All right. Oh, that was funny.
Hey, man. Hey, dog.
Oh, man.
James Harden, you have a party. Lakers at 5. nigga.
That made the whole show for me, man. That made the whole show for me. That's it right there.
Hey, I only got 2 words in response to this topic. I agree. Let's move the hell on. All right.
Oh man, one last thing though. I do want to say. I do want to say something, man. Like real talk, and this is just admonition.
What is going on, bro? What is happening?
This is admonition for people that deal with people that needs to learn for themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I had to learn this for myself, man. Like I am a very I take mentoring kind of serious. I don't know why. I think it's for the fact that I get a knack off of.
You're a pretty good mentor too, Jay. Just to
you know
let you know, bro. I'll see you.
I appreciate it, man. Like, you know, I try to, you know what I mean? I try to advise people as much as I can because I seen the information that was valuable to me and I got it from sources that were very plausible. And I'm like, I want to give that to people. And so sometimes I have the ability to micromanage. And sometimes we do this with friends. And sometimes we do this with people that we love or whatnot. But for the fact that we're talking about this, that means that the main purpose is everybody has to sit on their own tub. Fact. Everybody has to learn for themselves. Like, so if we're all in a race and I have my own pace for the marathon I'm running in life, if you're struggling and don't reach out for help and just want to do your own thing, I am not concerned about that runner. Now, it sounds bad though, right?
But it doesn't.
Sounds bad. But if you think about 2 different trees on the same ground, I'm not rooted with you. We're just in the same ground. My roots ain't tied to you. My life dependency is not based on you. When we're talking about friends and people, you know what I mean, that you care and love about, they're in the same ground as you. But you're not rooted like this to the point that you can't move and live without them, right? You just care about them. If they don't take heed to the season, that means you have to wither with them?
Right.
That does not mean that.
Right.
Plant your own root, stay on your own ground, and if somebody needs to learn that lesson of the season, they need to learn the lesson of the season. It just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Now, if anybody asks for help in fertilization, that's different.
Yeah.
If somebody asks for it, like, hey, how do you keep through the season?
Right.
Then we can cultivate together. But if I'm not rooted in you, and you don't know how to grow with the season and learn how to do with the season, I have to do nothing with you.
Yeah.
That's the life you got to live to learn who you are. And this is what it is. Close family. It is what it is, man. It sounds crazy, but that's the way I had to learn it. Life is not a hand. I didn't hold nobody's hand, ride on nobody's coattail to get where I was. I had to learn this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just knew at the time that when I needed some help, I was like, you know what? I'm not ashamed. I'm just going to go ahead and say that I'm lacking in this scenario. Let me find out what I can do to better this. Let me reach out and do this on this. Some people are just like, I think I'm good. If you think you are. Godspeed and good health. I'm going to continue this race that I'm running. I mean, I'm just for the people that have, like, you know what I'm saying, like family members or somebody like that that's just trying to help them as much as you can. Hey.
Yeah.
They're going to have to sit on their own bottom eventually, man. You're just going to have to do your own thing. One day you're going to get kicked out of this and learn how to fly. Whatever aspect of life that is. You're going to have to learn how to fly it. You know what I'm saying? And you old enough to have a mouth to ask if you need help, man. Real talk.
That's one of the...
I ain't mean to
that's great.
You know?
No, that's great. That's wisdom, because one of the things, you know, and you guys know I have my own therapist, Dr. Kelvin Banks. Shout out to Dr. Kelvin Banks. I did an interview with him on Coffee Conversation last season. I've been rocking with him since 2022. We've been at this for about 3 years now, so maybe a little bit more than that, maybe 3.5. And so that's one of the things that I learned from him without him teaching me. Just the way he move. He don't get personally involved with people. He compartmentalizes every client that he has. He don't personally get involved.
Say that word again for the people in the back, Busy.
He doesn't personally get involved with every person and client he deals with. He compartmentalizes.
Yes, sir.
His clients. But for some reason, I went through a situation. Towards the end of 2023. And for some reason, he chose to get personally involved in what I had going on. And that's the only time he ever did that. And that was the only exception he ever made. And from that, I gained a brotherhood with him, like a brother type with him, like a big brother. And like a sibling that I needed, that I'd never had. And so that's why I'm saying what Jay's saying is wisdom, is because you got to know how to choose, man, when it comes to helping people, man. You know what I'm saying? That's another part of the behavioral aspect we're talking about. It's like you got to know how to choose that. And like Jay said, when the family thing, your family, I'm gonna just keep it a beat. There are people in your family, they may feel entitled to your help, entitled to your time, entitled to what you know. And they want to be able to glean from you, but they don't want to go through nothing though. So every time they go through something, they look for you for the help. And what I'm just piggybacking off what Jay said about taking mentoring seriously is that he chooses when to or when not to do certain things at certain moments for certain people at a certain time on his own meritocracy. It has nothing to do with because you my family, I'm gonna do something for you. Especially when that person has not given themselves or have presented themselves as if they're interested in growing up. That's why he said, I'm gonna keep it pushing because there's somebody out there listening to us, feel an obligation to their family. I'm always here. I'm always there. And see, you got to stop that because see, what happens is you start resenting people for that. When you the one advertised yourself to be some available person all the time. What was that lady name back in the day? Miss Popper or whatever her name was. Some lady it was. I forgot the lady name. But like always there. And this how you know when this is how you could tell when somebody really don't need you. Let it sit. Let it sit. Especially if they text you, and I really need you, hit me back. Then you don't hit them back, then the next day or so go by, be like, never mind, I was able to handle it. I bet you was. I'm not going to be available for every single thing you're going through. There is something that I should have said to you that triggered a light bulb that should stay on for quite some time. 60 watt, 90 watt, $120. But there is something that I should have along the way, since you say you value this, there is something that I should have given you to sustain you for you not to repeatedly make the same mistakes over and over again. And this is how you know, and just from a mentoring standpoint, this is how you know when you really impacted somebody, when they say, you know what, I was about to do something, then I heard your voice. or I heard you. All they saying is
Yeah.
I was able to get there. And see, this is the reason why, just me personally, and this is another conversation for another day, probably. But this is the reason why I believe in the subconscious. I look at subconscious mind as subfolders. There is something stored there, and sometimes it takes something to bring it back to the forefront of you, because you're not aware. Like, you got it, it's back there, but you ain't activating it. It's dormant. You got dormant thoughts in your mind. And if you are able to activate a thought in someone to bring it back to them by them looking at a situation, they're like, you know what? I heard you say this in my mind. All they're saying is, I'm listening. I'm listening to you. And I'm using what you're saying for practice. It's there. They wasn't using it until they needed to use it. It's a subfolder type of concept to me. And that's how you know that, okay, I made some type of impact. I'm satisfied with that. But like Jay said, getting involved, putting yourself in it, now you're going too far.
Yeah.
Now you're about to lose impact because you are over available. You available too damn much. I thought you had a job or something. I thought you had a career. Like, you should be doing something else besides letting people use you all day. That's all I'm saying.
I had a friend told me that I learned from my elders that I'm supposed to keep the family together, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you went on and tried to do this, and it you know what I'm saying? And the family don't even want to be kept together. They got so many ideas and ideologies left and right, but you relying on grandma's tradition. You know what I'm saying? And it might have been okay for a season, but if it started to degenerate you, and that's what happened with me. You know what I'm saying? In the mentoring, like I was telling earlier, I started to degenerate because people didn't want to advance.
Mm-hmm.
I started losing my energy because you didn't want to build on yours.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm losing my energy because I'm steadily pouring into this cup that don't want to be used.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now I just speak my piece and walk off. Brush the dirt off my shoes. Call it a day.
There you go. There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Call it a day. Because what I said mattered. If it impacts you, I don't care. Like, that's the thing. Like, I ain't about to see and wait to see if it fit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna say it. Just let it be. Like it is. I had to learn that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that behavior can change. This is the reason why I brought this up, because I read the tape. That behavior can change. You can change your behavior. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Evidently, you want to, because you asked me this question, whatever you're asking me for. We're having this conversation about changing your idea. You know what I'm saying? So I give you an opportunity to see my aspect of how you can change it. And if you don't want to apply that today, tomorrow, or 5 years from now, it ain't my thing. I had to learn that. It's not my thing. Your adaptation to my thought is not my duty.
Mm-hmm.
My duty is just to say it. I gotta say it though. If you ask me, I try to keep my peace because I'm not micromanaging nobody else. But if you ask me, I'm gonna tell you just like it is. Cold turkey, cold cornbread, man. No hype up. I'm gonna give it to you. And if you don't like it, it is what it is. At the end of the day, you're gonna have to sit in that, and that's it. Like,
That's
you know what
real.
I'm saying? I gotta learn how to move on, man. Like, it's just, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You want to come back and talk about it later? Fine. I'm not gonna check up and be like, "How did you feel about what I said later?" Not doing it no more, man. I got my own issues, got my own thing. I gotta move on. It's up to you to do the evolution, man. Like, that's just my application there. Like,
Yeah, bro. To have that mindset, Jay, on the real, Jay, to have that mindset and have that heart to want to do that continuously, that takes a lot, bro. I work with kids, I coach and all of that. So I'm always trying to spew out knowledge and be a good example for younger people, for some of my friends as well. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure all of us have been through, but it takes energy to do that. So I'm putting all my energy into just giving you this. I'm damn sure not gonna waste my energy trying to see if you're gonna take it or not, because I've done my part.
My door is open.
as somebody who cares about you, I'm going to give you this. I'm going to give you this knowledge that I've obtained or this point of view that I feel will help you. And hopefully you take heed to it. And if you don't, I've poured into you enough. I've poured into you enough. I have nothing left. I have nothing left to give you. Hopefully what I've given you is enough for you to fulfill whatever you need to fulfill. So excellent points, bro. I'm on the same page with that, bro. That was dope. Fellas, that was a dope conversation, man. Can we get one more time?
Great show.
Na 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 na. Oh, what's in my life?
What is happening? What is happening? Hold on, Jay, don't say it. Okay, this is happening.
Oh, the banner go in the mountain door. I'm gonna make that change. Yeah. Na 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 na.
Hey man, don't be talking about that classic, man. That's a classic, man.
It's a classic, dog.
Yeah, these young kids don't know about that, man. They don't, man. They don't know about that bite, dog. Oh, about that bite.
I feel it by go. Whatever Michael Jackson said was profound. I don't even know what he said.
It was fine. It was fine. It was fine.
It didn't matter. It didn't matter because it was
breathe. He sucked through his teeth. It was
you knew in your spirit that he meant to make sense. You knew in your spirit he meant to make sense.
Dog, and when he started growling, you knew he was serious. When he started growling, you knew he was serious. I can't find a go 1,000,000 times before. Like, I love it. I love it, Michael.
Come on, make it different.
I'm sorry.
Rest in peace.
That sniff.
Come on, man.
You can't do that.
Had a bottle.
I was about to wait to see you.
No, okay, I'm done.
Are we done? Okay.
I miss y'all.
Okay. Let's get into Rallo's.
Lo, you got something for us?
Let's get into Rallo's rundown real quick.
Let's do it.
All right. Woo. Great show today. I just wanted to tap in to everybody real quick. Last night I had the opportunity to go to an event hosted by a good friend of mine. It was basically a discussion panel. Well, more so just a discussion, not necessarily a panel. He brought 14 women and 14 men into a very safe space, and we discussed everything from relationships to jobs to just the overall relationship between men and women, kind of like we do on this show. And something that I thought about was something that we say on this show before we come on, which is camaraderie. And that was my first time in a while being in a space like that where men and women can really come together, hear each other out. There was no judgment. There were some personal things talked about. There were some very serious things talked about. We had some fun on both aspects. So it was just a really dope experience for me. And what I took from it was, again, the word camaraderie, because we say that a lot before the show here. And I just think that that's a dope experience when you're able to have the opportunity to come and hear the point of view from the women, and women are able to come and hear the point of view from the man in the space that's familiar and the space that's safe, and we can agree to disagree, but it's all about building that camaraderie. So if you ever get a chance to go to any of these events, or even if you're just in the position where it's just a random conversation and you're getting different point of views from the opposite sex, man, like, we talk about a lot about camaraderie. So it starts with you. So just be that person that's taking that step towards listening to understand instead of listening to respond, and just be appreciative of all we talked about knowledge today on the show. Every aspect of knowledge you can gain, whether you agree with it or not, figure out a good way to take that in and continue to build your point of view on things, and just continue to grow in your mind and perspective, man. So that's Rallo's rundown for the day, man. So great show today. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to my brothers, man. I love y'all, bro. It was a great show today, man. Hey, for real, yeah. Of course, man. Make sure y'all hit us up on all of our social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, everything at the Mailroom Network. Make sure you holler at us at the Mailroom313 at yahoo.com. If you got a topic, if you got anything you want to put in our segments, hit us up on that. I guarantee whatever you put in there, it will be on the show. And of course, if you want to just holler at us, tell us how much you love us, we want to hear that too, because we like it too. Without you, it's no us. Without it, just don't. It don't work like that. So we appreciate y'all so much, man. Of course, like, comment, and subscribe to the Mailroom Network, man, on YouTube, man. You fellas, what you got for the people?
Yo, as always, just want to say I love everybody, man. I appreciate you, Jay, on mute. My fault. You on mute, brother.
Yeah, man, that means you go first.
No. I just want to say, love everybody, man. I appreciate everybody rocking with us every week, man. Our faithful mods coming through every week, you know, being in the chat, supporting us. I appreciate you, Jay, for opening up the show, man, today. For real, like we got a tornado alert for those.
I just heard it.
So I was like, you know, just in case, like there was a situation. I live in Indy, so like where I'm at, we can get a tornado at any point, for real. So I was like, I didn't know what was gonna happen. So I'm like, yo, just in case, bro, just like, you know, if you can, if you don't mind. And he was like, man, I'm in here practicing right now. I'm like, great, man, thank you, bro. I mean, so, and you did a great job, bro. I appreciate you, dog, for real, man. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you, Rollo, for always, man, always being there, man. Always making sure that the show is good, man. Coming up with the great topics we got. You know what I'm saying? Finalizing everything, making sure that we got our content on point. So I appreciate you, Rollo, as well. And as a collective, man, this is season 4 of the Mailroom Show. This is episode number 7. And I just want to say this real quick. This is around the time where Mailroom After Dark might be coming through. You don't want to miss this.
Let's go.
This, all right. So, Mailroom After Dark, we call it MAD, M-A-D, is coming later on next month. And so, just keep your ears open on that. I'm telling you right now, it's about to be fire. All right, it's about to be fire. So, I just want to say I love everybody, man. I love everybody that rock with us, and I believe and I'm gonna say this and be done. I just believe that the people that's been rocking with us now, they have seen us go from season 1 pilot to now, and our evolution of how we think and our evolution of what we're doing and how we're doing it. It's like they've been growing with us. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's been a little family. Yeah, it's been a family. You know what I'm saying? Really so I like that dynamic, man. So I just want to say that I appreciate and love everybody, man. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Just with that, I am going to say that y'all going to see me a little bit more often going after this episode because of the fact that what my man said. After Dark's going to show up. So you know how I get wild with the promos. Y'all got to pay attention. It's about to go down. Secondly, I do want to have all my veterans, man, all the day ones with us, man. I'm going to start discussions on the Mailroom Facebook page. We're going to keep talking. We're going to talk throughout the week. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna keep it rocking. I'm gonna put something up there, and if y'all could just come through and just, you know what I'm saying, give y'all a little spill on it, put a question up. Let's have some good conversation throughout the week. I do this with a couple of my friends, man. It's pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna start doing that for the Mailroom Show, man, just to give some nice, good, you know, conversation throughout the week when you trying to work it out through your 40 hours. You feel me? So stay tuned. We got you.
Hey, we love and appreciate you. We love and appreciate y'all so much, man. Each week is a blessing. Thank y'all so much. And y'all know what it is, man. We're gonna holler at y'all next week. The Mailroom Show. We out.
Let's go.